Sup folks, Chris from LaserTime here, and recently TT Games and Warner Brothers Interactive came by the LaserTime studio to show us the brand new minifigs that are coming out for year 2 of LEGO Dimensions starting on September 27th. But I want to talk about a little revelation that I had while looking at the new levels in LEGO Dimensions. You probably know from listening to LaserTime or this very YouTube channel that we love ourselves a good crossover. We are playing through Kingdom Hearts in its entirety. We love Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Super Smash Brothers, the list goes on. But in terms of unrelated volume of IP, nothing beats LEGO Dimensions, especially with year 2 coming out. The first game had more than enough characters and properties than my deleted DeviantArt profile, and you may have seen it when we streamed it a while back. There was Back to the Future, Portal, Wizard of Oz, Sweet Baby Jesus, the list goes on and on and on. But it was the Simpsons portion that stood out to me. I love The Simpsons, just like you. I am not special. Although I do co-host a weekly Simpsons podcast, insert shameless plug, but the Simpsons levels really stood out to me in the first year of LEGO Dimensions because it was the most fun I was allowed to have on consoles with the residents of Springfields in what felt like years. Yes, the Simpsons have a ton of games. Most of them terrible. Admit it, The Simpsons has 1, maybe 2 games that are good. That is kind of it. And if you're like me and you hated 2007's EA game, even though the LEGO Dimensions Simpsons portions are a bit on the short side and lack the star-studded voice talent of the previous console game, it is not only the first Simpsons console game we've had in years, decades, one of the few 3D Simpsons games that's not hot garbage. Yes, I love Hit and Run too. I know what I'm getting from a LEGO game normally, but this did give me a newfound respect for what LEGO Dimensions can offer certain IPs that haven't had a lot of good games. So year 2 of LEGO Dimensions is upon us, and there's plenty of new stuff to get excited about. Even if you didn't love the new Ghostbusters as much as I did, more Ghostbusters gameplay is always a good thing. And how can you complain about LEGO Batman stuff? And yay, we can finally play a Supergirl. The Wizarding World comes back to LEGO in both a fresh Fantastic Beasts flavor and the Harry Potter Voldemort classic flavor. And man, oh goodness, adventure time. I was already on board with Finn and Jake doing just about anything in LEGO Dimensions, but these levels have a wonderfully new, more animated quality than anything else we've seen from a LEGO game before. But going back to what I said about The Simpsons and the redemptive possibilities I didn't see before in LEGO Dimensions. For example, Mission Impossible has never had a great game, and certainly not one befitting a 5-movie action franchise that is successful all over the world. Yet, here it is in LEGO Dimensions. Also, like most discerning people, I didn't care for Sonic Boom. But hey, year 2 of Dimensions has its own Green Hill zones now, and maybe I'll like these a little more. Even better, Sonic gets to interact with characters who aren't over 20 years old, and just look at him ride that portal turret. As another example, I don't know that anybody was asking for an 18 game, but by the nature of what LEGO Dimensions is, it can now have at least a small slice of one. And even though I don't necessarily care about that franchise, I have to imagine that's pretty powerful for a fan who's been waiting 30 years for something, anything they could play with Mr. Baracus. But more than anything, the point I'm getting at is there are several characters new to LEGO Dimensions that just so happen to be based on some of my favorite films of all time. And those games just happen to be among the worst games of all time. Goonies, one of the greatest films ever made, but it only has a handful of terrible, let's be honest, barely recognizable games throughout the last 30 years. Even though I think Goonies is the perfect source material for a game, I can't imagine we'll ever see one happening, but it is happening with LEGO Dimension. And you get to play a sloth and see the movie from his perspective. How is that not exciting? And speaking of 80s Spielberg, Gremlins! Which actually has a pretty good Sunsoft game, but no, it's probably not in line to get its own game either. Yet here, as we live and breathe, are Gizmo and Stripe minifigs, with their own adventures to play, along with a drivable RC Corvette and E.T. I'm not sure the 1980s has a better movie to offer than E.T. But even people who have never held a controller could probably tell you that E.T. for the Atari 2600 is the worst game of all time. Wiki historians will tell you E.T. killed a console and even an entire video game industry, which is unfair for a lot of reasons. But the worst one is that it's not fair. Yes, the extraterrestrial has other shots at interactive stardom, but it's not fair that his worst appearance is what gets to define his entire interactive legacy. It's not right that he gets to be defined by the worst thing that's ever happened and never get another shot at playability. Until now. And that's kind of where LEGO Dimensions can step in that I never really thought about before. It's almost like PR for the zeitgeist for characters who have been used once and wasted in the video game medium and never addressed again. All of a sudden, people who only know these characters from games have another reason to look at them and maybe appreciate them as much as filmgoers do. I never thought of LEGO Dimensions as something that could give a new lease on life to beloved IP that's kind of had its time in the sun, but even the idea of a kid playing this game and going to watch E.T. and having his mind blown brings more than a little joy to my heart, and of course there's this footage. Look at him, he's represented well for the first time, and look at that cute authentic little hat, and it's enough to bring a tear to your eye. Also, Beetlejuice is in the game. I'm done. Thank you for enduring all of that. If you like this kind of crap, please subscribe to this channel or check out lasertimepodcast.com. That wrangles all of our podcast videos and articles together. However, if you wanted to see what I was talking about bad Simpsons games, check out our look at the terrible Simpsons games of 1992. If you'd like more nerdy IP rants, you can check out our video where I break down where exactly these Disney re-releases came from of the 16-bit games of Lion King, Aladdin, etc. And if you just can't get enough LEGO Dimensions, you can check out our original streams of the Back to the Future portal and opening levels to that right here.